Hi guys, I hope you're well. Today we're going to be talking about integrating marketing communications. So we know that there's a marketing mix in marketing, so that stands for the 4 Ps: the price, product, place, and promotion. As you can see in this figure, there's a C in between. So that means the customers are in middle of this whole the decisions that you make for these products. So one important part of that is the promotion. So just like there's a marketing mix, sorry, there's a promotional mix. So that means there's several things that you can do for promotions. Let's look at what those things are. There's advertising, direct marketing, sales promotion, sponsorship, publicity, personal selling, and digital marketing. Let's look at what each of these means. Advertising is when we pay to advertise our product somewhere. It could be billboards, it could be on social media, on um, it could be on newspapers. Then there's direct marketing. That means it's very targeted. It could be through emails, through SMS. So you're directly sending your marketing message to the customer. Then there's sales promotion. That means discounts, buy one, get one free, buy three, get the cheapest one for free promotion. So that means you are promoting by giving discounts. There's sponsorship. So some companies sponsor events. For example, Adidas has sponsored several sporting teams. That's sponsorship. There's publicity. That means what if you're doing something in your business that is newsworthy, and the news are covering it, so that'll give you publicity, or PR, public relations. And then there's personal selling. That means you are selling to the person one-on-one. So for example, when you go into the Apple store, you find their geniuses and one of them is assigned to you, and then they talk you through the product. That's personal selling. Then there's digital marketing. We know what that means. Let's see what else. So integrated marketing communication, the choice that you make is based on, first of all, the resources you have as a business, because each method that you choose is going to cost you, and you need to see what resources you have and how you want to create that budget of marketing and where you want to spend it. Then you also need to look at market size. So you need to see your target market, what's the size, what's the concentration, and then you need to look at customer information needs. So you need to see how much information about your product does the customer need, and how will you provide it in your marketing messages. You also need to look at your product characteristics, and you need to see if you're going to go with a push versus pull strategy. So when we talk about push strategy, that includes trade promotions, personal selling. That means you push the product through distribution channels. So you spend money on distributing the product and making sure it's available and pushing it. On the other hand, you can have a pull strategy where you can spend most of the money on advertising or promotions, but directly to the customer, and that would create demand, and that would mean the customers would pull the product. They would go and ask for your product. That's a pull strategy. There's a communication process where you, as the source, encode a message. So that could be a video ad on TikTok, it could be a picture, it could be a billboard. So that's your message that you're encoding. Then you transmit it, so you make it available to your audience, and then the audience decodes the message, and then they give you feedback. That could be in terms of your sales or their reactions on your marketing message. As you can see, there's a lot of noise in between. The noise stands for distractions and distortions. For example, when we're watching a TV program, when during the breaks between the programs, a lot of us don't tend to watch the ads. We just go on our phone instead. So our phone at that time is a distraction from the marketing messages that we're getting on the TV. Okay, let's look at hierarchy of communication. So first of all, when your customer doesn't know about your brand, it's called brand ignorance. They're not aware that your brand is available. So the first step is they become aware of it. So they just heard about it. Then they have knowledge. That means they try to get information about your product, and then they see if they like it. Once they like it, it might become a preference for them, and then it becomes a conviction. They decide that they're going to buy your product, and then they go out and buy it. So that's the hierarchy of communication effects. Marketing communication has an effect in this manner. Then you need to develop a marketing strategy. The first thing you need to do is identify and understand your target market. Then you need to define your objectives, and these need to be SMART objectives. So these need to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. Then you need to set your budget, and after you do that, you see what type of message are you going to send and where are you going to make it available. So you have a lot of options. You could have it on TV, on billboards, on social media, or you could have videos, you could have billboards. What are you going to pick? That depends on your budget as well. Then you execute the campaign. So you go ahead and do the marketing decisions that you make, and then you evaluate the communication effectiveness. So after that, you see how well that marketing campaign worked for you. There's several ethical issues in advertising. So advertising should not be misleading. It should not be exaggerated. It shouldn't hide important facts. Okay, let's look at sales promotion. So a lot of companies are employing the method of sales promotion, and that is because sales promotion increases impulse purchasing. So that means when you go, for example, when you go to Tesco and you don't intend on buying, let's say, chocolate, but you find a sales promotion on it, it's buy one, get one free or 50% off, you will impulsively at that time decide that okay, might as well get this. That is an impulse purchase that you didn't think about it before, and you weren't planning on it, but you went there and you decided instantly on the spot that you were going to get it. Sales promotions tend to increase that kind of purchases. Also, there's a rising cost of advertising, and there's so much advertising everywhere on social media, on roads, on everywhere. There's so much advertising happening. Sales promotion is just a way to combat that. So then there's shortening time horizons. That means when there's a sales promotion, you see the impact almost instantly. Competitor activities, you need to see what your competitors are doing and what kind of sales promotions they're doing. And then there's measurability. So for example, when you have a marketing campaign, it is hard to measure the full impact of it. It is becoming easier now with stuff like Google Analytics and other analytical tools, but it's still not fully, you still won't fully be able to measure the impact of the marketing campaign or the advertising. But if there's a sales promotion, you can easily measure how much profit you're generating from that promotion. Sales promotion strategies, so like marketing strategies, you need to have an objective. Then you need to decide which techniques you're going to use, and then you need to evaluate and see how well they worked for you. There's two types of sales promotion. There's consumer promotions and there's trade promotions. So with consumer promotions, you either give them money off, so discounts, or you give them bonus packs. You give them buy one, get one free. You give them free samples. You give them prizes, you give them coupons. And with trade, that means your distributors, your wholesalers, your retailers, maybe you give them a price discount. Maybe you have a competition among your wholesalers or your distributors. Whoever wins, you give them something. And then there's an allowance. That means you give them a certain amount of money and you ask them to spend it on how your product looks on their shelf. So maybe they can add an eye-catching image next to it, or they can tell that there's a promotion. They can use that money for that, or you can give them free goods or loyalty cards. As we can see, as we know now, magazines sales are going down, but what they've done to combat that is they add a gift in pack, and that's also a sales promotion. There's also public relations and publicity that is concerned with managing the interactions between company and its publics. We're going to see what the company's publics are in a bit. And so these are the company's publics. It's the media, it's finance, it's employees, it's commercials, it's government, it's public. All of these, not just the consumers, all of these constitute the public. And if the business has newsworthy items like marketing issues, personnel issues, general issues, financial issues, and production issues, these newsworthy items can be covered in the news. And since it's going to be an independent newspaper or a website that's going to be covering it, that will cause customers to believe it more. It'll be more effective. And then let's look at sponsorships. So a lot of businesses now sponsor events. That is happening because it helps them gain publicity. It helps create entertainment opportunities. It fosters a good image and association. It improves relationships with the community. An example of sponsorship is Specsavers. They have sponsored referees, and that adds to their brand image. There's database marketing and personal selling. We've discussed these before. Promotional techniques, there are different types of promotional techniques that you can use, like exhibitions, product placement, ambient advertising, and guerrilla marketing. Exhibitions are where, for example, at the NEC in Birmingham, they have exhibitions. So that means all types businesses of one type gather there, and then you can go in there and you can see the exhibits, you can see the stalls. Product placement is placing your product in a movie or a music video. So for example, in James Bond movies, the car that he uses is an Aston Martin, so Aston Martin has placed their product in that. Ambient marketing and guerrilla marketing are creative, out of the box marketing, like the picture you guys can see of the Kit Kat ad. So that is all for this chapter. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to email me.